Hey, welcome to another exciting, thought-provoking, and of course, entertaining and educating episode of the Floor Is Your Podcast. I'm the host with the most. No, I'm just playing. I was really trying to go with it. I was trying to go with it. I'm the host with
Fish
the
to the
most.
flow, man.
James,
He was going.
I was going with it. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time doing like the intro. I'm taking over for TJ and Cookie and all them. I never got a chance to do this before, so this is my first time. And I was did we lose somebody? What's up, Misha?
Yes.
What it do?
I need to see a smile. Thank you. Appreciate it. Making the show a lot better. We got a lot coming at you this episode. A lot of fun, entertaining topics to discuss. I think y'all gonna be ready for this one. Without further ado, G, go ahead and drop the intro.
They don't want to podcast, you want the smoke. Come around cut like you want this dope. Whatever you want, let the show to cover the topic. From wrestling shoes to fashion flies and cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie promise for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is the vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of the mob, they the start of it all. You looking for a high line and how to roll. The professor, nothing less coming at you with the lessons. Get your education, knowing what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it good for you. Don't need another look when he'll really do it for you. Yeah, baby, I'm Can we come down to the Let me show you how to
All right, and we're back. Welcome everybody. Like I said, we got a great show coming at you today. We're gonna be talking about finances, of course, Bitcoin. I'm sorry, cryptocurrency is the proper term for all of it holistically. And we also gonna talk a little bit about some current events, like what's going on with Kirk Franklin and his son and all that in that situation. But before we begin talking about the new stuff, what we normally like to do is talk a little bit about the last show. So I'm gonna let inspirational chick touch on that. You weren't ready, was you? You weren't ready, was you? I wasn't ready either. I wasn't even ready for this intro.
Show. You can kind of, give me a slight nugget and I can flow from there. How about that?
Narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh, that part. Y'all got a few of them. We didn't have all nine of them, but we definitely had maybe two. We all kind of worked with a little bit of them, but it was a really good show and it gave the different warning signs. Or I guess you say red flags we should look for. Can I name all of the nine? No, I cannot. But I do know that they exist in a lot of people. Have I experienced them? Probably have. Have I gotten away from it? Most definitely so. But it was really good. And the love note from that particular segment was just basically having the strength to don't be the sacrificial sacrifice for other people. And to basically, love yourself. So that's the gist of that. But it was very informative. Our guest gave us a lot of information. Of course, she talked from both angles, from being a therapist, but also experiencing those things. So it's always really good when we're able to talk to someone that can give you the experience and not just the educational part of it. So it was really, really good.
Okay. Yes. Shout out to Dr. Jennings. She did a fantastic job giving her professional point of view on the tendencies of narcissism. Let's see. Actually, I'm doing everything off the cuff and off the wing because I don't have my computer and I'm talking on my phone. I'm actually broadcasting from Flex's backyard right now because I'm one of those scary people that don't like, I'm all that. So like I'm a little bit more comfortable outside. So I'm doing everything off the cuff. As you guys may notice, we do have a not a new face, but maybe unfamiliar to some if you didn't catch the last show. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, certainly. Joshua Pondexter. I am a financial literacy educator. I've been doing this for about 3 decades, and we're residing in Illinois, Chicagoland area, but we have clients all over the CONUS, United States, and so that's pretty much the little script. My company's there, Stone Consulting LLC. We've been in, I think it's down below there, I see it. And so we're just here to educate the community, help them understand financial industries and financial products so they can make better decisions for themselves and their families. So,
hey, I want to, Josh, if you don't mind, just take a minute. Like, why is it so important? I mean, I know the answer might be obvious, seem obvious, but there's a disconnect. You know, a lot of it is, and what you talked about, just our education and understanding the different financial markets and, you know, how we play a role in them and all that right there. So can you take a moment just to talk about how important it is to understand those, you know, financial industries?
Yeah, absolutely. Inspirational check. How you doing?
Hi, Mr. Pondexter. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You as well. Well, it's your money, right? And then if you take your money to financial institutions, they have a game, right? If you will, it's a game, and then they utilize your money to make money, and they don't tell you the rules of the game. So it's very important that you understand if you're going to take. We're not going to leave our money in our mattress, number one. But the reason why financial literacy is important, we live in a social economic environment. So the economy, the economics of living is important, you know, so that we can, hopefully over 30, 40-year career, whatever we're doing, that we can end up with some money to live on and some wealth to transfer to the next generation, right? So literacy is important, just like that's a core competency that we should have, just like I would say if you were a lawyer, doctor, school teacher, you need to have competencies in that area. That's what you do to make a check. So when you get that check, what do I do with it? That's financial literacy.
Yeah, that's good. So, and we can go a bunch of different ways with it. I just know from some of the feedback from the post that we shared, a lot of people was interested in the cryptocurrency, you know, the Bitcoins. And James brought up another one earlier called Dodge Coin, something like that.
Yeah. So absolutely. I know you had asked me about the Bitcoin, and a lot of people asked me about Bitcoin and virtual currency, right? So before we get to that, because that's not really a big deal. The other currencies or paper currency is still dominating, the marketplace, right? Virtual currency only been around since 2009. So let's just go through a little history of money, of currency, right? Money is it's not real. It's just a concept, right? Currency is real, right? Paper, coin, diamonds, things like that. That's what we use for currency, right? So first of all, we want to understand that this process has been around for hundreds, thousands of years, right? So if we look at, I got some little notes here I want to share with you. If we look at coins, and manufacturing of coins started in 600 BC. So man has been trading, right? We started in the barter market, right? So I'm an agricultural environment. I'm a hunter. You an agricultural guy making grains or whatever, and then we trade, right? So, and then we have to get a fair trade. So to understand where we are now, we have to look at where we were, right? So we were trading and everything was pretty much fair, right?
Yeah.
You get a pound of meat. I give you 4 pounds of barley, right? That's a fair trade, and everybody feel good about it, right? So that's how we started out with commerce. Now we have built platforms, right? The Asians, the Chinese began paper in 77 BC. So this currency been around for a long time. Now I'm gonna get to the Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin been around since 2009. And I'm telling you, the reason I'm giving you this history, because you understand that's some new fandangled thing, virtual currency, right? Will it last? Will it replace the type of currency that's been here for thousands of years, right? Maybe, maybe not, right? So trading, right? That's how we trade. Even if I want to get my house painted and you're a painter, I trade dollars for that, right? I go to the grocery store. I pay my mortgage. I pay my utility bills. I pay that. I trade that with currency, right? All right. So I go work for my money and I trade it. So now there's some markets that have been developed. The stock market, right, have been developed. So why was the stock market developed? It was developed to finance corporations, industries, right? So that's why it was developed. So as a matter of fact, the European stock market was developed in France first, right? In the 13th century. And what they did, they developed this market to finance industry. You know what industry they was financing?
I know, because I was on that workshop before.
Right. So the industry they was financing was the slave trade, the colonization of African people, right? So this is what they were doing. They had the stock market. These ships were being financed to take slaves to the new world, they calling it, right? So that's how the market started, and it exists today to finance industries, right?
Wow.
Right. So the question is, and I wanted to share with you guys that there's 11 sectors that you should know about in case you're going to be investing, even in cryptocurrency, right? There's 11 economic sectors, right? I want to share them with you, with your audience. Energy, material, the industrials, consumers' discretion, consumer staples, healthcare, financials, information technology, communication service, utilities, real estate. These are the sectors that are available for you to invest your money. They're broken down into 24 industry groups, 69 industries, 158 sub-industries. So when you investing, you should know something about what's going on before you put your money into this game, right? And then there's over 6,777 companies that have been traded, right, on the stock market. So those companies exist for you to take your money and finance their expansion, right? Right. So now there's some advantages to the stock market, right? The advantages is for the capital to finance the expenses of industries.
Hey, Josh, I have some on that point. So the money that they take in from doing business, that's not what causes them to grow. The big part, or not the only thing that causes them to grow. You saying
what Bitcoin is a part of that too, right? Right. So I'm just saying this is why the markets exist, right? You investing in the market. The market is to gain money, right? So they can expand. Coca-Cola want to expand. Facebook want to expand. Starbucks want to expand. Walmart want to expand. So the thing is about never use your money, use other people's money, right? And so the disadvantage of the stock market is that it takes advantage of the unlucky, the imprudent people, and the gullible, right? So if you're going to start investing your money, you need to get some knowledge of the industry, right? So this is commerce, right? So currency, right? The paper, the dollars, the coins, the things of that nature, we have turned it into an electronic format so you can invest, right? You got your debit cards, you got your credit cards, you got things of that nature. So you can actually go to the stock market and make a trade with your actual dollars. No, okay. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, which is virtual currency. There's a whole bunch of names out there, but they have become the standard, right? It's just like when you think of tissue, who do you think of? Charmin?
Charmin. Yeah, Charmin.
Cornell.
Yeah, Kleenex,
Yeah.
right? Well, you know, Kleenex is just a brand. But when you think of that tissue that you put on your nose, you think of them, right? So that's where Bitcoin is in the virtual currency state. So you're the first one to market. So now you get stuff named after you, but it's a virtual currency. That's all it is. It's no ain't nothing fancy about it, right? It's just virtual currency. So is virtual currency going to take over the world? Is virtual currency going to take over the world? What do you think? I don't think so. Right?
I think it's going to become a big player. It reminds me when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan, the military had over there what we call Eagle Cash, and it was a way for us to get money and trade without, in the confines of where we were. So I see that it works, or that it has its usage.
Right.
I don't think that it'll replace, but that's what my limited understanding.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that don't invest in it. But here's the deal: is that it started in 2009, and so the reason that I went through that long, exaggerated history of money is to understand that when man has started exchanging with one another, they used to use barter system. Then they went to currency, right? And that currency was paper and coin, right? And that paper been around, as I stated, since 770 BC. Bitcoin came out in 2009, right? So it's a virtual currency. Now, and the good things about it is that supposedly it's deregulated. It's not, it's not with a centralized bank, right? Like the World Bank. If you go on Google and you look at the World Bank, you look at any country and you look at the demographics that are given, how many people live there, what's the education, everything, that data is provided by the World Bank. The World Bank know where you're at. They know who you are. They're counting your dollars, right? So now, we've been on this platform forever. So now, hey, 2009, let's go virtual currency. Let's flip the script. Let's fight the power. Can the power be overthrown? Do you know how large and powerful the World Bank is? They start wars when they get ready, right? Yeah, they get them started. So now, cryptocurrency, virtual currency, which the brand name is Bitcoin, right? They was first to market, so get the call of Bitcoin. So now, will they take over the marketplace? I don't know. So that's the question for you to ask yourself, and you invest in it. But as with any investing, you want to diversify your portfolio, right? So if you want to do Bitcoin and have that in your portfolio, okay, fine. If you want to have gold in your portfolio, right? If you want to have stock in your portfolio, if you want to have real estate in your portfolio, and we're talking about creating wealth, right? Yeah. So now, and creating wealth in a portfolio It's a balanced portfolio, right?
Yeah.
You might choose to have some Bitcoin in your portfolio, some virtual currency, right? You might choose to have real estate, which is not virtual currency, right? You might choose to have some stock, which is pretty much share of ownership of corporations, right? So, and all this is an investment. You should have a balanced portfolio.
Yeah.
If
So
go ahead.
So the as much as you know, what everybody want to know. So Bitcoin is past the whole the newness where it's worth the investment. And I mean, would you agree with that statement?
I don't know. I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Like there's still potential to grow, but it's not like grassroots. Like if you got in at like a 1/10 of a cent and now it's worth, $50,000 a share. Especially what you're saying. I can understand that part.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's an investment, right? And if you're investing, you should have a balanced portfolio, right? And now, is it past the newness? Is it past the honeymoon stage, right? Almost. Right? Almost, because some the stock market, they still control the trading platforms, right? Right, until the Nikkei, until the United States stock market, until these other major markets allow you on their platform, which they trying to not to. They let them on for a while. Some country, tuck them back off. So until you get on their platforms, it's going to be a challenge, right? Because now, the Bitcoin, or the virtual currency, it doesn't have institutional dollars, right? It is the Chicago police pension investing in Bitcoins, right? Right. They might have they might have a little portion of money in there, right? Is the teachers union pension in Bitcoin? That institutional money is Motorola got their money over there. These are institutional clients, right? And so that will be the tail of the tape. And it might be too late for the little guy if he try to get in waiting on those guys. So, but if you committed to virtual currency and you want to have a balanced portfolio, and that's an asset that you can hold in your portfolio, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So
it sounds like to me though, well, listening, because I have to think of stuff different ways. Okay. Cities, regions, and things like that, because you said that this started in 2009, right?
Yes.
And we're in 2021, and I'll say Texas, or the people that I see doing it now, we're here like it's the newest thing that just came out, when actually we're so far behind. Okay. So if you didn't get in like in 2009, like you said, you're like this percentage of basically it. But it's just ironic to me that we get so far detached from so many different things as far as the stock market and all that, because of the regions that we live in, because we're not exposed to it, or we don't have people educating us, I say, in this manner until it's almost 2 decades later.
Yeah, well, Mashik, I'm not going to say it's too late. Only thing I'm saying is that on the stock market, Warren Buffett has a company that trades at almost $300,000 a share. It's too late to buy that unless you got some real money. And so I'm sure there might be opportunities to still get into virtual currency, right? Berkshire Hathaway, people hear about it. I think when I became aware of it, it was at $68,000 a share, right? If I could have not bought my house and
wow,
put my money over there, right? So I'm not going to say it's too late, I'm just going to say
and let me correct that. I don't want to use the term too late. Just we're so far behind in educating educators. Let me say that.
And that's and if we feel like that, that's why it's important that we get very aggressive in our learning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we don't have no time to sleep and eat.
Yeah.
So I know that people, that's their thing. Virtual currency, right? Should I be in it? Should I not? It's not, that's not my thing, right? I don't make those type of recommendations anymore, right? I don't sell financial products, and if I was selling it, I might try to sell you some of it. But the only thing I'm saying is that it's an investment, and so when you invest, you need to have a balanced portfolio, right? So you can have stocks, you can have bonds, you can have real estate, you can have virtual currency, right? So now that's a balanced portfolio, and so you would put as much in each industry as your tolerance level is, right? So if you understood real estate and how to make money in real estate, that might be 60-70% of your investment, right? If you understand stocks, you might have another 20-25% there, and then the rest, you could do your virtual currency, right?
I'm gonna push you, Josh.
Come on with it.
So with all your expertise, if I came to you and was like, hey, just give me 3 industries that you would recommend that I invest in, would you be willing to recommend 3 industries that you would recommend someone invest in?
Oh, that's a great question, right? So we talked about the fact that there's 11 sectors, and there's over 64 industries, right, to invest in. So what I would do is I would tell someone to invest in all of those industries.
In
all those industries. And so how can I accomplish that? Right? There's a thing called the S&P 500 Index Fund, right? It is composite of the largest 500 companies in America, and they're in all sectors, right? So you're in the healthcare sector, technology sector. You're in the whatever. So comes your real estate advice. Somebody. So right. So they're in the real estate, right? So what I suggest and what I do is that I'm not telling people to divest from America, but to take a part of the expansion in America, and the safest and the least and the most affordable way to do that is by purchasing you an S&P 500 index fund. It is a composite of the 500 largest corporations in the world, and as America grow, your account will grow. So that indicator been around for over 77 years. It has averaged 9.6% return, right? And annually, right? So that's even with the years that had 20+% negative, right? And so if you average that out over the 77 years, right, 9.6% return. So you say, well, when I'm 55, 65, 70, I want to have $1 million, $2 million worth of cash, right? So now we work that back and say, okay, if I put in $2,000-$3,000 a month and I save that for 10, 15, 20 years, and I use a financial calculator to say 9.6% annually, and I'm gonna tell you with some with amount of certainty, you will end up with that number.
So you said certainty. That was going to be my question. So there is going to be some down times, but average is pretty certain that you'll know what you can have in 15, 20 years.
So that's what I recommend. Now, if someone wants to, buy stock, I said, well, now you should investigate in the companies and industries that you like. Do you like the healthcare industry? Do you like the utility industry? So in utility industries, there's actually the people that provide the power, right? Oh, not in Texas, but but just kidding. But there are also people that provide equipment to the electrical industries, right? So that's the sub industries, right? So it depends on what you like. If you like healthcare, there's research and development in healthcare, right? We see a lot of people with inside information made a whole bunch of money on the Pfizer drug, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about investing where I feel a lot more comfortable than recommending a particular investment. But once again, you got a balanced portfolio. Okay. Now you done made all this money in your investment. Now you have to reallocate your investment, and you want to do that every 12 months. So, and what that means is that you got stock in your portfolio, right? And that stock has shot through the roof. And what you want to do, and so you started with a 60% stock portfolio, and the rest of it was 40% bonds, and now your portfolio is 80-90% stock. So to rebalance, you take that earnings and rebalance it and put it back over there and save money, right, over in your bonds where it's less risky, because at one point the market's going to change. So people get in trouble for being greedy, not rebalancing their portfolio. So all these things are fundamental and we need to know when we start giving other people our money, right? Yeah. Or you can control your own money, right? Anybody, where's the business owners at? Ms. Sheik, you're a business owner, right?
Yeah, and I'm an independent contractor. Yes, I am.
Yeah. So I didn't see what kind of business you in.
I'm a hairstylist.
There you go. So I didn't see. You go buy hair, you go buy products, you invest in.
Let me clarify that I don't buy the hair because I don't like all that extension. Okay. So I buy the products and I buy the things that are necessary to make the business flow. I got you.
Yeah. So right. So yeah, and then that's your investment. You invested in your products, right? And then you make money through your service. Right?
Absolutely.
That's kind of how I like to make money.
Yes.
Yeah. And so take control of your money and put it to work for you, right? Now, if of course Gerard, you was at the secrets to building wealth, right? And we talked about that 10% belong to you, right? And that other 90%, if you cut your lifestyle down and you got another 10-15% to invest, then you can do that, right? So I hate to disappoint, but I don't have very much to say about virtual currency other than it is an investment, right? And the way you mitigate your risk, reduce your risk in anything is by your knowledge of something, right? So, okay, all right, you challenged me. I'm gonna get going now. So it's a trading platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you trade. Okay, now 80% of the people that trade lose money. Now you got to look in the mirror and go, am I a 20%er? Am I the 20% that's going to win in a game that the house have set up that 80% of the people are going to lose, right? So now when I'm buying, so there's a trade and there's a buyer, right? So the two people coming together, it's still like the barter system. Just two people coming together to barter, right? So now I have my laptop, I got the best laptop that my little money can buy, but the trading companies, the trading platform got supercomputers. Okay. By the time that I issue a trade, they have bought and sold my trade 3 to 5 times. And so what you're saying, Mashik, from Chicago to New York City, is the whole earth has been terraformed for high-speed trading, right? They have laid cable and line from here to New York City so that they can do high-speed trading. So you're gonna tell me a person sitting there with his laptop got a chance to win in this game? It's a game. Wow. You could be a unicorn and you can win, right?
At 20%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's really what it is, 2%, right? So now this is how the house is set up. When you go to Vegas, right? The 2% win, the house win. So if you are a savant, you're a genius, where you can figure out how that game works, and you can sit there and beat the supercomputer on your laptop.
Yeah,
go right for it.
Yeah,
that's a trade. That's a trade. That's what trading is about, right?
Yeah,
it's a buy and sell, right? So so the intermediary, the one that's controlled the trading platform, he set up the platform to do what? To make fees, right? Also, the virtual currency is touted. They're challenged. What they want to do, they want to reduce fees of transactions, right? Which that's very ambitious, right? That's wonderful. That's beautiful. But the guy that makes the money in fees, don't you think he's the mafia? Do you think he's going to let somebody take over his game? I'm just questions. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this is the way the game is set up. The game is set up. The intermediary who's bringing the buyer and seller together, the stock market, his whole purpose is to make fees.
Gotcha.
That's why he exists. And so business is war.
Yeah.
Right. So
wow.
So
this question, what is, if you don't mind sharing, what does your portfolio look like?
Yeah.
Do you have any cryptocurrency?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I don't trade. I'm very conservative, right? And I don't work with speculative instruments, nor do I recommend my clients have speculative instrument because most of my clients, before I began to talk to young people like yourself, were retired and retiring, right? So I worked in another area of financial advising, and that's the clients that was trying to preserve their assets and live on it, and then transfer it to the next generation. And so what those who I worked with and I saw that had significant money, we began to see patterns, right, of what they do. And I said, okay, I see these patterns, right? So let me leave the 55 to 70 age group to come back and talk to some 25 people, 25 years old, and share to them how, how one can get comfortably to retirement. We talked about out of 10 people at age 65, only 4 financially independent, only 1 is rich, right? That's out of 100 people in America, the richest country ever existed. And then we can even go further and we can look at, what's in the portfolio of the rich, right? So this is, my clients, I try to help them emulate those who are rich. And this is what they have in their portfolio. They got real estate. They got fixed assets, right? So like a bond, I put $100 million in this bond, and this bond pays me 4 to 6% annually, right? Or I got $1 million in there, 2 million, and it pays me. They have assets that are businesses. That's that's where a lot of them hold their wealth, like certificates of ownership, right? There's no ownership, they don't want it, right? Real estate, you get a deed. Stock, you get a stock certificate. Business, you get a letter or organization that you own it, right? Those are the three major areas where they have their money, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and then when it comes to bonds, the investment side, the markets to help other people grow their business and use their money, they want some type of guarantee, right? Yeah.
Okay.
If I give you $100,000, I want to guarantee in 4 or 5 years going to return me my 100,000, and I'm going to be getting interest all along the way.
Okay, so that's the deal. Put it in a bond and live off the interest.
Right. So that means that you're going to have to make some money. You got to accumulate some money, right? And so once again, if you investing, have a balanced portfolio. Virtual currency could and probably should be a part of your portfolio, right? Yeah. That's, so now you got some stocks and bonds in your portfolio, right? And there's rules, right? There's a rule called the rule of 110, right? That means that I'm 59. Let's say I'm 60, and so the rule of 110 says that I should take subtract 60, right, from 110. So now it leaves me 50, right? 50% of my portfolio should be at risk, right, in stocks and bonds and stuff like that. So, there's some lightweight rules out there you can go by, some rules of thumb, right, okay, when you're investing, right? So, right. So, but we need to understand, currency exchange, right? Fair exchange is no robbery.
Yeah.
Right. Now, here's a question that I would ask. The reason that paper money has value, right? They don't have any value. It's the value that we assign to it, right? Now, and the reason that we assign value to, because we know everybody will take it, right? We know the rent man will take it. We know the stove man will take it. We know the utility man would take it. We know the car dealer would take it, right? Now, can you run down there with virtual currency to the car lot?
No.
Can you go down there to Piggly Wiggly to the car lot? I mean, with some virtual currency.
No, they ain't trying to hear it. Not them. It's some industries that's taking it, or some companies, but it's not a lot.
Can you go to Hojo?
What's Hojo?
Yeah, I ain't from Arkansas.
No, I mean, it lost me on that one, but I mean, probably no.
Howard Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah. That used to be popular in the day. Now y'all staying at the Ritz-Carlton and all that now. But when I was coming through, money would only go to the Hojo.
Yeah.
Too funny. Staying at the the Ritz and all them other places. But so now that's the thing. The thing is that will those people take it? So that's why it has to come up to that pace for everybody to accept it, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's all. It's just that's having utility, right?
It could, but we're waiting on some of the big institutions, like you said, to use that as a way to invest their pensions and other things. So wow.
Now you're invited to the party, and also once you see them on trading platforms, I don't know if you remember, if you've been following long enough to remember when the Nikkei, which is the Japanese stock market, they took cryptocurrency off of the platform.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They had let it on there for a little while, then they took it off, right? And so I don't know, somebody with some money said we won't let them go so far, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's a challenge. Virtual currency, should they have it? Some people gonna win, some people gonna lose. When folks was running out to California for the gold rush, don't talk about the people who died along the path, right? So many people who broke themselves trying to rush to the gold, right?
Good point.
Yeah. So, but for the adventurous, and the wayfarer, he wins.
Yeah.
The mountain man.
Yeah. Josh, you got anything before we wrap this segment? I mean, James, before we wrap this segment?
Well, I'm gonna be one of the adventurous dudes. I'm jumping into the Dogecoin at 0.5 cent.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get rich.
Mm-hmm. right. And we hope we really hope you do. Yeah.
Hey, I'm following Mark Cuban and all them. Like, okay, everybody keep, like you said, more access to places that let them use it. It's gonna keep going up. I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna be able to sit on it. It's gonna be the next Bitcoin in my mind.
Right. Well, no, it's good, and I want it to be, because I want you to be rich, because what I really do, I don't show my clients how to make money. I show them how to keep it. Taxes, lawsuit, judgment, liens. Those are the things that come after the rich, right? When you have money, you have another set of problems. Is keeping it. Making money in America is the easiest thing to do. It's keeping it, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Tax man gonna come at you, right?
Okay.
A law man gonna come at you. So if that's what I had, I wish you well. Keep my name and number.
Right on. Hey, speaking of your name and number, we're gonna put this info up there. So hey,
okay.
I've used you for the 30-minute consultation, man. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to working with you here in the next couple of weeks. But you want to tell people how to reach out to you and what you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website, joshuapondexter.com, and you can see the plethora of services that we offer. We're focusing in estate planning, business advising, tax reduction strategy. The largest bill that you have is your tax bill. It's more than your living, your rent, your utilities, your vehicles, your tax liability. Is zapping you of your wealth. And then I just wanted to state, mind if a shameless plug, when you're also on my website, I'm doing an Ask Joshua on Facebook Live. So every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central Time. And we're sharing some good information. We're very excited about the way the program is going. And then we're adding strategies to help improve the man. And the man is never without the woman in the Lord, Mashiq. So I'm not, not excluding you, but the whole man, and so we're giving some strategies, having a lot of fun. So joshuapondexter.com. You don't have to be a Facebook friend. There's a link on there. Bring you right into the 9 a.m. Central Standard Time talk.
Yeah, and they can ask any questions they have and participate and listen to the information you got, because you have set talking points that you have, but you do allow people to ask any questions that they have.
Right. Yeah. This one coming up this Friday coming is going to be about energy, how to create a reservoir of boundless energy.
Yeah,
because energy is for us, inspiration is for other people. Like, you guys are very energetic, but that's how you're able to inspire people. Energy is for us, and we need our energy so we can inspire others.
Good deal. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I got some inspiration. Sheik, you got anything you want to ask her?
I want to talk about Kirk, man. What's up?
Yeah, make sure to ask you have anything before we go on to the next topic.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. All
right. Speaking of the man Kirk, so I got this little intro. Get us started.
Okay.
But I think Kirk needs this right now.
My.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. It ain't easy, but today.
Hey, we need Kirk right now. So Kirk going through some things right now. So if y'all hadn't heard, James, you want to take a moment to explain what's going on with Mr. Kirk?
But is he really though? Is he really going through something? is this really news? Like, two grown men had an argument. Like, I hate the narrative being pushed. Like, Kirk Franklin has a son. I think it was not by his current wife. I don't know if he's been married twice. I don't know his full background in history, but I know he has. I got my lights went off in my car. I have to move, but I know like he had like a situation before. So the kid, like he had different kids by different women, whatever the case may be. So this was like his first or his oldest son. It seems like him and his son were having a conversation. Long story short version, his son posted a video of him, like you could see he had like a phone and he had like a tablet or something, and he was recording the conversation that him and his dad was having, but he only posted a portion of it, where it seemed like his dad had got to the point where he was going off. He was using profane language. He was making threats out. If you ever disrespect me like that again, I'll break your neck, blah, 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 blah. And to me, it seems, now a lot of people, I will say this, a lot of black people did come to the defense of Kirk, like, because like a lot of people saying like, we don't know the whole story. We don't know all the details. He only put out a certain part of the conversation and not the whole thing. And that people get into it all the time, because at first it was this narrative being pushed like he was abusing his child. They were making it seem as if he was going off on some little kid, but he, or some teenager or some minor, but he wasn't. His son is a grown ass 32-year-old man about to be 33. So like I said, like grown people argue and get into it all the time. Like not to negate anything that could have happened in a young man's life. We got to definitely be respectful of that. Like we don't know what type of father Kirk Franklin is. We don't know what type of co-parent he was with the mother of his other children. We don't know what type of trauma and issues that they've been through. And honestly, like right now, that's not the point. We can only, because unfortunately this was put out to the public. So when you put something out to the public, you now have what? Public opinion. So in the court of public opinion, we can only go off the facts that were presented. And what was presented was a 32-year-old man had a conversation with his adult father, and they got into a heated argument, because if you listen to the whole thing, the son was the adult son. Let me make sure I keep pressing that the man is grown. The adult son was putting, he was kind of instigating a little bit like, you gonna do what? You ain't gonna, he was kind of pushing buttons. And again, we don't know what was said that took him there. And Kirk Franklin put out his apology video after it went viral. And I don't know about, what do you guys think? I think that the worst part about the entire situation was that he apologized for it. He doesn't owe any of us an apology. We're not his children. We're not in his family business. His son chose to put that out there. And if you notice in his apology video, he did not apologize to his son. What do you guys think about it?
We'll let the guests go first. What you think, John?
I appreciate that. And you're absolutely right, young brother, is that the guy is 32 years old. Franklin's 51. So he had the child when he was 19. So he was a young man himself. And of course, there's a lot of dynamics back there. But currently, what happened, his father felt he was being disrespected. I like to preface my statement by saying I'm a father of 3 sons and 2 grandsons. And yes, I would tell him that I would break your neck, that I brought you in this world, and I would take you off. I feel you being disrespectful. Fortunate I hadn't had, one to put him to really get out of pocket. But it makes a difference when you're in their life. When you get a young boy and you put your hand on him at an early age. I got my hand on your head, and you molded him, right? But even then, if he gets disrespectful, he will be checked. I'm not a man that uses a lot of profanity, but if my son takes me there, or I have to use that type of language to him like he's a common person on the street, well, that's a shift. You know what I mean? So I can't really speak to Kurt, and his son's dynamic, but I know that I have 3 sons, and if they push me to that point, we have a problem. And more than likely, I'm not apologizing.
Yeah. So inspirational ship, you and I, we had a kind of in-depth conversation about it earlier, and you brought up a good point from a post you read. And the question was, if it was his daughter, would he have talked to her the same way, and what would the response from everyone been different if it was a daughter instead of a son? What you got to say about that?
Well, first of all, I think we're talking about what he said. He said a lot. The part that got me is when he called him B word, because at the end of the day, he's still a man. He's still your son. And when you go to that part, that was just my little that part. However, when it come down to it, they got a lot. It's a whole mime over there. I mean, anywhere they step sound like between them two, it's just a whole mime. It sounds like this is something that they like, since Kirk gave an apology, to give a little bit more insight, that they've been to counseling and all of these different things. First of all, I would like to say that the counselor need to give a refund check, because obviously whatever she was trying to do to help them out, it didn't work, because it's done escalated and it's to a whole nother point. I feel like if it was a young girl, I think it still would have been, well, not a young girl, a young lady. Mm-hmm. People would have probably jumped to the fence that he shouldn't have talked to his daughter in that manner, but then they probably would have flipped the script and say, is she ratchet, hood rat, or whatever. We always have a two-sided answer, or how we feel. And we're not saying anybody's response is wrong. Let's say that, because everybody has a right to express, say, and feel. So we respect when we hear each other say different things. An apology to the son or to whoever. Now, what my thing is, I would have just got on there and just put it like this. Yeah, I cussed on the day, and I cussed in a real good manner, in a sentence format that I didn't even feel I didn't know that I could cuss that well. Should I have used some of the words that maybe not, but this is my word. So it was the fact of, if he is guilty of it, of saying the words, but do I have to justify me? Yeah, I cuss. We all do. I mean, some of us cuss when we by ourselves. Matter of fact, to ourselves. We cuss about other people. Some of y'all cuss in church when the pastor do something. Some of y'all writing text messages that cuss. So do we all have a time that we mismanage our verbiage when we're talking to people? Yeah. But if you come and you want to ask me, did I say it? Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm. Are we better than Peter?
And that's the thing too. Like,
I got a whole good friend, but he my brother. He a pastor. I'm not gonna call his name. He cuss. Do I love him? Yes, I do. At the end of the day, even if he said, it may be funny when he said, but all Kurt had to do was go talk to the Lord and repent, because that's what it say, right? Lord, I did it. I said it. I'm done with that, and I'm through. At the end of the day, you still have a dynamic that we are parents and we are over our children. The Bible tells us don't provoke our children to anger. We don't know if this has been something that he provoked them and they just put, like you said, you only put his side out there, and that's fine. But when you begin to still get in a public format, because obviously when the people get up there, they have publicists and people that want to structure their who they are in public, in the eye of people. So they're going to tell them to get on here, and this is what we want you to say. The only thing that bothered me about the interview, he closed his eyes so many times when he was talking, just saying, hello, at first I thought the light was too bright. That's just my joke. Kirk, I'm just saying, if I'm going to get out here to have to do it, it's going to be because I choose to, but I'm still going to be real. Transparency is real. Being a Christian, being saved, all of these different things come with the territory. We miss it. We fall short. We've been doing it all of our lives. Are we the best parents, the perfect parents? No, we aren't. Do we have children that do and abide by everything that we want them to do? No. Sometimes I want to wring my kid's neck. Now, I've never used that language. However, that was his choice of words. Did they flow really well? Yes, they did. He didn't even stop doing it. I'm just saying. So at the same time, the son was saying, I dare you, I dare you. So they don't have listening to them. They are both toxic to one another. So they both know how to push each other button. The son just got to the point that he just wants to say, hey, if you can get out here and do all this and act like this, and maybe I'm bitter because you weren't there for me. Maybe I'm upset because you did choose to go over and, be a dad to somebody else and then have kids and you were there more for them, because maybe Kurt at that particular point, now he's at a more mature level of being a father to that, but he wasn't able to do it when he was younger. He was a child raising a child. There's so many dynamics, and I'm not saying I know everything. I'm just kind of giving a, little layout of how it may look. And so then you have a kid that's longing for something. So when this man is acting out, I see them coming from a 3-year-old perspective, not that they have really much to think about. I'm seeing him at a 13-year-old perspective, a 23, now he's 33. Somewhere along the line, he's still not gotten, or they still not gotten to a place that they are on an understanding that, hey, I forgive you, or I'll do better. It's just a mess all within itself. So if he was gonna do anything, he should have just replayed the 911 song that he has with TD Jakes, where they were having this dialogue like a counseling session, and he was trying to snap off on the pastor, Jakes, in that particular song. And he was like, now hold up, you're going a little wrong. And he said, but you don't understand. He said, yes, I do. Maybe had he listened to that, maybe that would have helped him dialogue the conversation, because they could have talked like a therapy session. I'm just saying, because I listened to the song. However, I would want them to, as a son and a father, to get back to a place where they could be healthy together. But in the event that doesn't happen, because sometimes it never comes back around, it would just be best to say, hey, I'm now stopping all the counseling sessions. I'm no longer giving any money to the therapy. I choose to have to be in a place of that's going to be a pleasant, peaceful place for me. That doesn't mean I don't love my son or I don't love my dad, but this right here is not getting us anywhere. I'm not disowning him. I just feel like it's time for me to sit back and let this be what it's going to be. And in the event it comes back around, I'm going to allow it to flow the way it is. And that's it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Benny, he's kind of amplified. Say you never know what's going on in someone else's life, and you're right. But you're right. It's toxic both ways. And I like what James said earlier, that there's two grown men at the end of the day. And I think there was another level. If you're gonna look at levels, the violation of trust for him to record it, that was premeditated, to record it and to put it out there for other people to see. So that wasn't. Go ahead.
And then the other thing is, the other thing. Okay. The other thing is this: like, I don't. We know he's not a quote unquote preacher or pastor or whatever, but we know that that's the realm or the world that he comes from. So, for lack of better terms, I'm going to use the term religious leader for what I'm talking about right now. We have to quit holding religious leaders up to some higher level than other people. Like, they are human beings just like us. They're, the pastor, the preacher, the bishop, the whatever, they are not Jesus. They are not God. So we can't hold them to a higher standard and then we hold ourselves accountable for. And everyone that has criticized that man has also been in that man's position in some form, shape, or fashion themselves. Everyone has, at some point, if you've lived life, you've at some point lost your cool. Now you could say, well, I didn't do that though. I didn't use those type of words. I didn't do that. Well, it doesn't matter specifically the words that you use, it's the intent. Like you can still hurt somebody with your words and not use a single word of profanity. That's one thing we have to take into consideration. And like you said, to me, it seemed premeditated. The man had a whole tablet sitting in his lap. So, and also we also have to remember who are we talking about? We're talking about Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin became popular by, for lack of better terms, meeting people where they're at. We can't act holier than thou and do this. So I'm gonna create a form of music that's more hip hop influenced, so I can try to get. There's so many people who got into religion because of Stomp back in 97, 98 when he first came out. And then also he's always been honest about his own shortcomings. He was very open and transparent about his porn addiction, and he spoke on that. Also, if you look at interviews with Kirk Franklin, he uses profanity. He uses the N-word, or he says ninja, because he's quick to say, I'm not some perfect person, and that's the way that he talks. He doesn't try to act holier than thou. And like you said, I think that this is something that's taken place many and plenty of times, and everybody has given their own different perspectives. I saw that Kirk Franklin's daughter even put out a post that that the guy was jealous and bitter because his daddy won't give him money or support him the way that he would like to be supported. And she like, you even told me yourself that I'm not your real sister because we don't got the same mama. And you done threatened me and came at me like that before. But you didn't put that out there though. You only put this out here. But she was like, but the truth gonna come out. Love you anyway, big bro. Whatever she said. So it seems like it's a lot of stuff going on in that family. And because we live in Texas, there are a lot of people who feel like they know them or they know that person. Like I know it was this guy that went to UNT that I know of that was around the family. He was like, Kirk ain't nothing. And if you knew what he put that boy through, as I knew that kid growing up, and he did this and he did that and he treated the kid bad like this. But you weren't saying all that when you was all buddy with the family, and now you got something negative to say. So like everybody got an opinion, but at the end of it, like I said, it's something that shouldn't have been put out to the public. He was wrong for recording that man without his knowledge, consent. Of course, I'm pretty sure the conversation would not have went the way that it went if he knew that he was being recorded. And then just to go back to what was said earlier, like what if he were talking to his daughter like he talked to him? To me, he would be dead wrong. And because no matter, you shouldn't talk to a woman like that. And like, so we got to remember that too. Like, who's to say he haven't gotten mad and went off on his daughter, but he, like people have gotten mad at women before. But I think that most men know, like, no matter how mad you get, like the men that are sane, we're not going to threaten a woman or do this or do that because we know you can't take it there with a woman. Like, I mean, like, I don't have a daughter, but I'm pretty sure there are people who have daughters who have had to discipline their daughter, and you had to be stern and you had to be forthright enough, but it's a certain way. I personally feel that you can't treat a female the way that you treat a male. You can't treat a daughter the way that you treat your son, like as far as discipline, interaction, and when you're angry.
Josh.
Yeah, no, actually it's good stuff. This is a family dynamics, and it just hit public. I was just thinking, of course, the legality of recording someone when you without their permission. It's a problem there, and I think someone put it in the chat. Hurt people, right?
Yeah.
Of course, when a man presents himself to the world as something, then we hold him to the standard, especially from a spiritual perspective. If you present yourself as a spiritual leader, the Bible tells you how to conduct yourself, that you should be an example to the brethren, that you should, and that out of this thing right here, sweet water and bitter water don't come out of it, right? And so these are the challenges that we have with disciplining ourselves, to control our tongue. And beautiful point about words are damaging, right? They're powerful. They can damage or they could enlighten. They could share light. God said, let there be light, and there was light. That's how powerful words are. And words with the wrong emotion, even though they could be words that you may think are encouraging, could be damaging to someone, right? So like I said, I don't know those individuals' background, but we all have dynamics, family dynamics. We have children, we have spouses, we have brothers and cousins and business partners. So our words should definitely represent who we are at the core. What's in your heart, come out your mouth, right? And that's not, leaving Brother Franklin, personal blown out situation out of the picture, but just we need to understand that our words that come out of our mouth reflects what's in our heart.
Yeah.
Now what? And then this too. So we focus on that, but then I did talk to Gerard. I don't like however I talked to Gerard. So during the recording, before he got to saying the B word, all of a sudden there's this person that laughs. So we don't know if it was in the car with the son or the person on over there with Kirk, right? So when you get this, that means you didn't.
It could have been the therapist giving up.
Huh?
It could have been the therapist giving up.
Right.
Well, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is when you hear the laughter, then what it makes for me is then there's a cheerleader somewhere too. When people begin to do that, then it gives more fuel to a situation. And if you done laughed at this, then that means I'm coming back with a little bit more venom because now you done been like, pump me up. So either way it go, we still have, and you have to watch that. So I don't know who it was. All I know, they was tickled. Once they got tickled and they laughed, oh, he went so hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure his son clothes wanted to get up off of him and leave it.
Oh yeah, you know how it is when
tough lady out there. I bet his son clothes just about to fall up off of him and say, "I'm about to leave this conversation." That's a joke. People just learn to laugh a little bit, but so it makes you wonder, you know, who was there? Who was the hype man, or who could be a hype man? Because sometimes we have people that are the hype man in situations that we're in, and when they get to making us continue on, oh, we will do it because then we feel like, oh, babe, I said something right there.
Yeah.
Oh, him,
That's good. That's good. So yeah, it's been a good discussion. We went over a few minutes. So before we wrap it up, we're gonna give everybody the opportunity to share some parting thoughts. We covered a lot of information, you know, from financial instruments, you know, trading, what Bitcoins are, how to diversify your portfolio. We talked about the Kirk Franklin situation. Would it have been different if it was a daughter instead of a son? You know, should he apologize? You know, the expectation of religious leaders. So any one of them topics or a combination of, we'll give everyone a chance to give some important thoughts. We'll start with the guest, Mr. Joshua.
Well, thank you kindly. I just like to say that I always appreciate being here, and of course, you know, as we stated, whatever you're involved with, you have to learn. If you want to be the 2%, you're gonna have to differentiate yourself with knowledge, right? You want to be 2% in anything: investing, building wealth, husband, wife, whatever you want to be. If you want to be a part of the 2% community, you're going to have to learn how to be world class in all those areas of your life. So just want to, leave you with that. Parent, husband, business owners, they had to learn.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I see.
Child, I mean, all that he said about the, the investment, right? Because I don't really have the verbiage for all that, but what he said, and then just in life, know that when you mess up, they say we fall down, we get up. We mess up with things that we say, coming from an emotional place,
right?
And when you do that, you have to remember to go back to emotional leadership. I'm learning that. And that way you'll begin to think before you speak, because if you're going to lead someone to the wrong place to even come back to you in an angry way, or even a positive way, remember that you have the lead to change the dynamics to either be good or bad. If there are some things that have not been worked out, put forth the effort to rectify situations with your children or people. However, if it gets to the place that there is no recovery, don't feel bad by saying I've done all I can do, and just leave it where it is, so that you have a peace of mind and that you have a pure heart and that you allow yourself to heal from that. Because one thing about it, we look at grief as someone going in the ground when we've lost them to death. But when you have to put death to situations, circumstances, relationships, and things that are no longer bring life to your life, you have to now grieve and walk through the process of just saying I walk away because I've done all that I can do. I can love from afar, but this is toxic. It's not healthy. And you have to do what's best for you. And don't let people control you, because when someone controls you, then this is how they get different responses from you. So my thing is, pull those roots out. No one has the right to come into your house and to reset the temperature in which you set it. If you come to my house and I got it on 72 and that may be a little too warm for you, my thing is put the little fan on the end of your phone, honey, and just blow yourself, because you're coming into somebody else's world. But when we do have the times that we want to make our guests comfortable, we adjust a little bit. We don't adjust to a capacity that it makes us uncomfortable, that we can't truly be ourselves. So just find the balance of knowing that it's okay to do your best to work on situations. And if you don't get the expected end, it is also okay to walk away after you've done all that you can do. Give it to the Lord. And if you mess up, ask the Lord to forgive you, because he wipes a slate clean. Us, on the other hand, that we'll try to keep that whole thing over your head, honey, and have you sitting up on that cross like you ain't Catholic, that you can't come down, and we'll tell you, well, you did it. Yeah, I did. So you got to learn how to, talk back in your mind to yourself and silence the crowd and just keep it going. So, Kirk, as long as you and the Lord can work that thing out, I bid you farewell, sure.
Cool. James. you got, brother?
Well, I'm no financial guru expert, but I got a little common sense. So I'll say this: if you thinking about investing in stocks or whatever, or just playing with it or just learning it, whatever the case may be, I would say don't put up any money that you're not willing to lose, because none of it's promised or guaranteed, and nobody knows all the answers. You can go and listen to anybody who can tell you that they know something, and that stock or whatever that investment tip that they gave you could crash the next day. We don't know. So I would always say don't put up money that you're not willing to lose. So if you one of those people that start off with $100 in a Robinhood app just to kind of play around with it, you do that. You do what's comfortable for you. Everybody can't be the Warren Buffetts of the world like that, especially starting off. So I would say just don't play with your money that you need, because you're gonna be hurt. So I would definitely say that. And as it pertains to the situation with Kirk Franklin and his family and friends, I'll say this about drama and beefs. Period. When people are getting into it that are related, when it's family or relationships, I think you got to be real careful about picking sides and giving your 2 cents, because people that got a forever connection, they gonna get over it one day. But the outsiders, they don't forgive you and get over you. So, for example, if you got remember the situation with Lil Wayne and Baby, when they was beefing real hard and all that, and people pick sides and all that. Look, now they done forgave each other and they buddy and cool now. But guess what? The people that jumped on the side that was going at the other person, they not cool with them though. So you got to be careful about jumping in other people's beef that ain't yours. When it's family, when it's people in a relationship, I think the best thing to do is stay neutral and stay out of it. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. And my last thing is, I'm rocking this Black History shirt in the middle of March because we don't celebrate Black History in just February. We do it every month. And I done finally drove out here to Flex House, way out in the boondocks. I need to get my passport stamped because he lived that far. I also need my hoodie because I ain't coming back for another 5 years. I'm just letting you know. It's been about 5 years since I've been out here, and it's like I'm coming out every 5 years. I gotta build up. I had a full tank of gas. I done went through it 2 times already.
It's a nice little hug, man. I'm just glad. I feel blessed that you came to see me, man. So,
and I'm reporting live from a car because I had to come back inside. We didn't want the double echo going. So
yeah. So I'm gonna use my last comments to plug my man Joshua. So
Yes,
Joshua, you want to take one more chance, man, to let everybody know how to get in touch with you in that free 30-minute consultation before we go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's JoshuaPondexter.com. And you can schedule your consultation right on the website, right? Whatever the bullet, estate planning, retirement planning, business advising. You just hit that bullet, look and see what's time slots available, what works with your schedule. We're a 9 to 5 type guy.
Yeah.
And get in there, and of course, compliments of the On the Floor podcast. We give them 30 minutes, and it could turn into an hour depending on what you want to talk about. So that's it.
And some of the other services, which I'm going to use you for, a couple of services you do. The structure for LLCs and
we help incorporate. We go from from concept to startup, formation to forming and funding. That's a segment that we do in businesses. We take you through all those steps, and then we have a program. It's all on the website. Wealth building program where how do I build wealth. Right. And so, like I said, the main assets that are helped to build wealth, how do we do that systematically and over, I don't know. I'm not a fast guy, so you don't have to have a 20 plus year window, if you want to get rich. Other than that, you're going to have to make a whole bunch of money.
So basically, people need to figure out something to do with their stimulus check. They need to hit you up, huh?
They can't.
Well, maybe if somebody got oh crap. If somebody got about like 6 or 7 kids, and they would be the
right.
ones.
They got some, yeah. It's that low 1,200 ain't gonna get them for. You know?
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
we appreciate you, sir. And you know, I'll be on there Friday for Ask Joshua at 9:00 Central Time on Facebook.
Yeah. And Thursday, I forgot to mention I do Zoom workshops. Right.
Yeah.
I think this workshop I hadn't came up with the title yet. What I'm gonna do. I might do that one. How to build a compliant, credible, and fundable company, right? And then in that one we look at how to build a company. You might not have an ideal, and then we talk about the 1.2 to 1 million dollars that one second that we spend in African American community that we earn, and then we talk about the areas that we spend our money, and then we looked at those major sectors, and then we're like, hey, here's a sector to get into. Explore this sector. You know, it don't have to be chicken and beauty shops and things like that. There's some other areas that African Americans are spending their money that you should get into. So I got someone
like cranberries.
I got to roll. Hey, love you guys, and I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you for all your commitment, man. And we're gonna do this outro, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Peace.
We have an issue. So hey, no outro. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.